Red Sox get out of the inning. What a play by Trevor Story.
I can't tell you enough how valuable Trevor Story is to this team. I mean, it feels like at least a few times a week at this point, we're just finding, sorry for the pun, a different story about Trevor Story. I mean, the guy was absolutely incredible here today. Red Sox picking up the sweep of the Orioles, a 4-game sweep. They couldn't get it done in the 4 games against the Yankees, but they made up for it here. They got the 4-game sweep this time. 7-1 on the road trip. What a great road trip. Coming back home. Man, oh man. Trevor Story was insane today. What a game. That to me, listen, I love those games where, you go 4 for 4, home run, couple of homers, 5 for 5, like those offensive explosions. I love looking at that, but I almost love these games for players just as much. I love when they make impact plays on both sides of the ball. I am such a fanatic for defense. I think it's one of the most underrated aspects of this game. You see a lot of people, over on the interwebs, over on social media, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. They look at like wins above replacement, and they're like, oh, well, this guy's not that great. I mean, look at these offensive numbers. But this is why wins above replacement is such a valuable stat, because you have a completely other side to the game where they play the field. And that today from Trevor Story, that is exactly why guys, where in the end, when you look at you look at their OPS and you think, oh, okay, well, that's okay. Why is their wins above replacement? Why is their WAR so high? Because they make great defensive plays. Not, the consistent play, but also the flashy ones, like we saw with Trevor Story here today. But not just flashy, heads up. Like that was so great about Story here today. Like, yes, making the dive on the big play there in the 6th inning, but heads up, throwing it to third to double off the runner, right? You go to the 9th inning, the big play in the 9th inning on the fielder's choice, throwing out Dylan Carlson over at third base. Tight, high leverage spots, making high leverage plays. Those are the plays that separate, like all right players to very good players to great players. And Trevor Story, what a year he's having, man. He's popping up in so many different ways that the stat sheet at the end of the year, it's just not fully going to show. And looking back on this season, years from now, I'm going to, whatever ends up happening this year, I'm going to look back at 2025 and say, Trevor Story was just such a glue player of that team. This Red Sox team, I don't think, would be in the spot they are in now without Trevor Story, to be completely honest with you. Like, yeah, I think they'd still be like good. I still think they'd be fine, but to be in the prime spot they are in right now, not just because of what he's doing on the field, but off the field as well, just leading by example, being that guy in the clubhouse, going out there every day with a chip on his shoulder, just trying to help this team win. Trevor Story is easily one of my favorite players on this Red Sox team this year. Man, oh man, what a year. How about Romy Gonzalez coming back here today? Romy Gonzalez, well, not coming back. Ref Snyder came back, but Romy coming up big here today. Clutch hit that ended up giving the Red Sox the win there late in the game. Another bit of late game heroics from the Red Sox here today. Ref Snyder coming back here today. Showing you why we missed Ref Snyder over the last couple of weeks here, out with the strained oblique. And funny enough, I'm already listing off these bullet points here, and I haven't even talked about Garrett Crochet yet. That's how great today's game was, right? There were just so many big things that happened, and Crochet is gonna kind of fade into the background here a little bit, but he was also clutch here today. He ran into a lot of trouble. This Orioles team, they were aggressive against Garrett Crochet here today. A lot of swings, a lot of swing and misses, but they were putting the ball in play. They were really hacking here today. He had to work around a lot of jams, and he came out of some big spots, man. That's why you pay Garrett Crochet the big bucks. Like I've said a few times this year, even when he's not at his sharpest, even when he's not at his best, he wasn't bad here at all today. Like when you look at the final line, I'm just saying, he wasn't dominating here today like he did his last time out against the Yankees, right? But, this is what you get from your ace. When you pay a man like this is what you're going to get. You got to love that. Overall, good day for Crochet. He went 6 innings. He worked around 6 hits and a home run today. Hey, props to the Orioles, man. This was not an easy series. They made this a tough one. We saw that last night. Thank goodness for Seti coming through. And then obviously today, guys really having to step up in the big moments. This Orioles team did not make this easy. They did not make this easy at all. How about Joe Stinson Garcia, the password, first major league hit? Gotta love that. Just a great win here today. Great win. Great road trip. You got a ton of momentum right now. And then you got Paul Skeens this coming weekend. We're going to talk about that Pittsburgh series coming up. And we also have possibly a big call-up coming. Speaking of Paul Skeens, there might be a big call-up to go up against Paul Skeens. I'll dig into that in a little bit here. I already see some of you in the chat. I think a couple of you have already mentioned that name. I think you know who I'm talking about already. We'll get to that. Everybody, we're going to we will preview the Pittsburgh series, but we're going to break down this one here today. We'll break down Crochet's performance. We'll get into the offense here. Let's talk here today. What is today? Today's Thursday. It's weird because usually you most of the time you got the Thursday off. So remember, I came into this series thinking it was a 3-game series. And I was like, oh, it's a 4-game series. Wow, my potato brain got the best of me. So yeah, this is a little weird doing a post-game show on a Thursday. Don't do that very often. But here we are. Hope you're all enjoying your Thursday afternoon other than this great win here today. If you can, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new. Let's get into it here, shall we? We're going to get into it. So, let's talk about Crochet. It was pig day today. It was pig day. Like I said, the Orioles very aggressive here today. They swung 52 times against Crochet. Just for comparison's sake, they swung 39 times against Bayo last night. We saw the Yankees very aggressive against Crochet as well. The difference in that start was the Yankees, they were just swinging and missing all over the place. But the Orioles here today, they did not make it easy. The Cutters got a lot of whiffs, 6 whiffs on the day, 5 whiffs for the sweeper on the day. But he ran into trouble right there in the beginning, right? Jeremiah Jackson, first off, holy cow. Alex Jackson, Jeremiah Jackson, all of the Jacksons just giving the Red Sox fits this past series. Holy cow. Jeremiah Jackson, he had 5 hits in this series. Can we stop this man, for crying out loud? I never want to see Jeremiah Jackson ever again. But he had the base hit. Gunnar with the hit by pitch. Then Crochet bounced back there in the first inning. Mountcastle with the strikeout. Got Emmanuel Rivera to pop out. Third inning, that's when Alex Jackson came up with the home run. Ended up tying it. We'll get to the offense here in a little bit, but that was after the Trevor Story homer. But then he got the next 3, including a big strikeout to Jackson. All the Jacksons, goodness gracious. But 4th inning, Mountcastle with a base hit. Emmanuel Rivera with the base hit. Cowser getting on with the fielder's choice. Mountcastle ended up moving up to 3rd there. Then a huge strikeout to Dylan Carlson. Cutter down and in. Runners on 2nd and 3rd. Crochet coming up in a huge spot there in the 4th inning. 5th inning, Alex Jackson hit by pitch. Jackson Holiday with the base hit. Jeremiah Jackson, what do you frickin' know? With a base hit. Made it 2-2. Holiday, he ended up getting on to 3rd base. Then he came back to strike out Gunnar, but then we had the huge play from Trevor Story. Let's watch it again, shall we?
Swings. Oh, what a play by Story! He throws to double him off at 3rd. The Red Sox get out of the inning. What a play by Trevor Story!
Unbelievable. What a play. Man, that's going to be a memorable one looking back on this year. 6th inning, Crochet finally settled down in the end. He ended his day on a positive note, striking out Rivera, striking out Cowser, getting Mayo to pop out. Overall, a fine day for Mr. Crochet. the war pig himself, getting it done here today. 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, 7 strikeouts, giving up the home run to Alex Jackson. But hey, good solid outing here for Crochet. He now has a 2.40 ERA on the year. He did not pick up the win here today, unfortunately. The win actually went to Jordan Hicks. Before we get to the rest of the game here, though, we do have a word from today's sponsor. We'll be right back.
FT fam, welcome to the world's most comfortable swimwear. For a moment, we are talking about Fair Harbor. We actually have some show and tell today. This is the liner that you're working with inside of the shorts and the bathing suits.
You know what the best part is about this, Scott?
What?
They have a lot of different options because these are clearly yours because I would never order this pattern, but
that
they
is
look
so
great
me.
on you.
That is so me.
These are so you. Mine are a little bit more plain than this.
Yes.
But they are super comfortable. The liner, I love liner shorts. Some people don't. But these liners are better than most that I've had on, if not all of them.
Yeah,
Because
this is the
no
best liner out
chafing,
there.
No mesh. All of the above is perfect.
Exactly. It's really good. You got to give it a shot. Also, fun random fact, you get a new shirt. It smells really good. So head to fairharborclothing.com/FOUL and use code FOUL for 20% off your first purchase. Once again, Fairharbor, HARBOR clothing.com/FOUL for 20% off your first purchase and use that promo code FOUL so they know FT sent.
Moving on here. Let's get to the bats. Let's get caught up on the offensive side of things. You know, overall, another, for the most part, yeah, they had their big moments here today. But for the most part, more quiet, right? And the offense has been, they've been getting it done here. Obviously, they won 7-1 on the road trip. So, you know, and the outside of that outburst at Yankee Stadium, you know, a lot of these, getting these tight wins lately. Good to see. You got to love that. But overall today, 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position. And just double checking the hits. They had 8 hits on the day, 8 strikeouts as well. They did draw a walk. But first inning, what do you know? Roman Anthony getting it started again. Not a home run this time, unfortunately. Couldn't get the home run to lead off the game, but a leadoff hit. Bregman, though, grounding into the double play. Man, if Bregman got on there, that could have set up a nice little 3 spot for, who do you think? Trevor Story had the home run there. That is now Story's 22nd home run. He's going to finish with a 25-25 year. Knock on wood. Hopefully I don't jinx him for the rest of the year. I think Story is going to go 25-25. Listen, I don't want to think into the offseason. I'm focused on this year, but I'm more so, and I've said it, and I'll say it again. I think there's a good chance he could opt out. And I'm not bringing that up just to, you know, I don't know, try and get too ahead of ourselves, but I'm more complimenting just the year that he's having. I mean, he's got 2 more years left on the contract, 25-25 season within reach. Good clubhouse guy, good defense. I mean, honestly, at 33 years, he's about to turn 33. I mean, why wouldn't Story, you know, heavily contemplate opting out and then trying to get himself, say, a 3-year deal, maybe a 4-year deal? You know, he's owed $50 million over the next couple of years. I mean, I think there's a shot that he could opt out and go get himself at least a 3-year deal for, say, you know, close to $20 million per year. I think he could do that. He's been that good. He's been that good. But Story getting it started there today. 2nd inning. Refsnyder, base hit in his first AB back. Welcome back, Rob Refsnyder. That's not all, though. We'll get to the rest in a little bit. Steady with the base hit. Unfortunately, the Red Sox were cooking, but the password was not able to be unlocked in that moment. Sorry for the cheesy pun, but password down by the way of the K. 4th inning. Orioles ended up tying it up in the bottom of the 3rd there, going into the 4th inning. And then Refsnyder, home run on his 8th pitch. Fastball low in the zone. He knew it, too. He knew it. He just set the bat down, he put his head down, and he just went into his trot. Gotta love that, Rob Refsnyder. 5th inning. Back to the password, shall we? The password was finally unlocked here. Sorry for the cheesy pun. But first major league hit, double down the left field line, stand-up double. Congratulations, Justinson Garcia. Gotta love that. The first of many. Bottom half, the Orioles tied it up at 2 after the Jackson double. And then let's go to the 8th inning here, shall we? Roman getting on with the walk. Roman just gets this stuff started, man. God, I freaking love Roman Anthony. Freaking love him. Oh, he's great. But then Story, with the ground out, actually ended up moving Roman up to second base there. Grounded out to first. And then Romy coming through with the game-winning base hit. They made it 3-2. But this bullpen here, the bullpen, hey, Crochet, he had his bumps along the way, but so did the bullpen. Jordan Hicks, I can't believe Jordan Hicks came into this game in that close of a spot. Oh man. As soon as I see him, I'm like, no, please, no. What are we doing? Why is Jordan Hicks in this spot? He gave up a base hit. He walked a guy, but he got out of it. He figured it out, man. Jordan Hicks giving me a heart attack every single time he's out there. Garrett Whitlock getting it done again in the 8th inning. Gave up a hit to Rivera, walked Cowser, so wasn't exactly a dominant inning for him. You remember, hey, in this past series, giving up that double, and then he went on to strike out the next 3. Then he proceeded to strike out Beavers on 9 pitches, a 97-mile-an-hour sinker. Garrett Whitlock, man, that stuff plays. He's been great. Easily one of the best relievers in all of baseball this year. And then Steven Matz coming in for the 9th inning. I'm going to be honest with you. Even though Matz has been very good, the numbers show that he has just not been great in high leverage spots. Why that is, I don't know. Is it a mental thing? Is it just the way he's attacking these guys in these tight spots? I'm not sure. But whatever it is, he has just not gotten great results in these tight spots late in games. When he's come in like these lower leverage spots, he's been good, right? You're down a couple of runs, up a couple of runs in, the 6th, 7th inning. Yeah, he's been able to get the job done. But when he's come in like some of these tight spots, he hasn't been great. Going the whole year. I'm looking at the numbers for the whole year. Dylan Carlson, credit to him. Carlson has just been, man, killing us this series, right? He got the double there to get it started. Alex Jackson, and here was another great play from Trevor Story. Ground ball to Story. Huge heads-up play. Quick throw over to Bregman. Carlson was heading for third. You could say probably not the best spot to be running in for Dylan Carlson, but Story, heads up, thrown over to third base, got him. And Lou Merlone said it on the broadcast well, and this is another thing that's not going to pop up on the stat sheet. Lou Merlone, he credited the footwork of Trevor Story. That's huge, man. For Story to make a quick play like that, being quick on his feet, moving his feet quickly, setting his body for the throw, that's what makes a good shortstop, right? It's not just the flashy plays, but it's the fundamental things that you learn growing up in the game and just perfecting as you're working on your craft year by year at the position defensively. Just textbook play from Trevor Story. And Lou Merlone said it great. That's why I love Lou Merlone on the broadcast, because he tells you those little things that don't necessarily, they're not the most exciting things that pop off to you. That's why I love Lou. In the end, they got it done. Red Sox sweep. Gotta love that. Who do we got here in the chat here today? Who do we got in the chat? Good crowd here today on a Thursday afternoon. We got Brian Griffin himself. My goodness. Mike, how you doing? TD, Danny, Joe, Emily, Mark, Andrew, Ronan. How we doing? Doc Jazz, what's going on? Moose, how you doing, my friend? Mason, Marcus, John, how are we doing? Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome to the show today, everybody. Thanks for being with me. And we are going to be previewing the Pittsburgh series in just a second here. But let's get to the updated standings. And remember, we were talking about the standings last night. The Twins couldn't hold on to it, ladies and gentlemen. They could not hang on to it They ended up winning that game late. As soon as we got done with the show last night, they ended up blowing it. Or the Twins ended up blowing it. So, come on, Minnesota. You got to do a little better for us. Got to do a little better. But the Blue Jays, with the win here today, you're now back to 3.5 out. But the Blue Jays were idle today. So, see what they do here tomorrow. As for the wild card, the Red Sox are now a full game up on the Yankees, but the Yankees are playing the White Sox tonight, so let's see what that looks like later on. The Mariners ended up winning last night. They play Cleveland tomorrow, so they're still in the third wild card spot. The Royals, Rangers, they're off here today. So, not too much of a difference in the standings, but we are going to get into the Pittsburgh series, and that actually leads me to our next segment, the DraftKings Player Spotlight. And we got here Mr. Paul Skeens. Paul Skeens. Man, oh man. This ain't good here, ladies and gentlemen. This ain't good because Paul Skeens, listen, in case you don't know Paul Skeens, I'm sure pretty much everyone on earth that knows even a little bit about baseball at this point, they've heard the name Paul Skeens at this point, and for good reason. He's really freaking good, man. He is fantastic. Sure, if you're still looking at wins and losses, yeah, he's 8-9. But that has nothing to do with Paul Skeens. That's because of the bad team that he's on there in Pittsburgh with the Pirates. But that ERA, that FIP, the strikeout numbers, they're looking absolutely fantastic. Overall, 27 starts, 161 in the third innings pitched, 181 Ks over that. ERA at a 2.07, FIP at a 2.40, 10 strikeouts per 9, 2 walks per 9, half a home run per 9. Holy cow, Paul Skeens is really freaking good. I mean, let's take a look at the StatCast sheet, shall we? It is red everywhere here, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not with me live, there's a lot of reds here. Probably good if you're not watching this live. Yeah, it's going to be a tough one here tomorrow, but I do see some hope. I do see some hope for the Red Sox, but I will say here, over on DraftKings, as of right now, because the starters have, the Red Sox starter has not been announced for tomorrow. They don't have the odds for now until they announce who the starter is. But I hate to say this. I really do hate to say this. But if I were to go over on something, I'm probably going over on the Paul Skeens strikeouts. I hate to say that. Here's why. Because obviously, he's very good. There's no doubting that. But the big thing is the Red Sox, they just haven't seen him. The only guy that has seen him is Alex Bregman. If you were to go with a hit for someone, I would go with Bregman getting a hit because he has seen him a few ABs. Saw him last year with the Astros. Does have a base hit off of him. So if there were a Red Sox player to go with over on the production, especially the hits, I would go with Bregman because he's the only one that has experience against him. But unfortunately, I do think I got to go with the over on the strikeouts, whatever that number ends up being for Skeens. But that doesn't mean that a loss is on the horizon because obviously look at the win-loss record. This can tell us the story here because many teams have been able to defeat the Pittsburgh Pirates even when Skeens is pitching his butt off. So, hey, try to keep it close against Skeens. Get to that bullpen. That offense has stunk this year. They have not been able to get a whole lot of runs across the board this year. So, whoever ends up pitching for the Red Sox, you do got some hope there that you know at least you could keep that game close. Get to the bullpen. You can still get a Red Sox win tomorrow, even when Paul Skeens is on the mound. But listen, I could sit here and be like, "Oh, we're gonna get to Skeens. We're gonna be the one team that just does a ton of damage." Listen, I'm a realist over here. All right, I'm gonna give credit when it's due every single time, and I don't like anyone's chances against Paul Skeens, to be honest with you. So I'll go the over on the strikeouts for him. But hey, you know what? If we're not just focusing on just a player here, I would go over for the Red Sox on the win. I'd go over. I'd go over on that. I do feel good about that one. I feel good about that one because the Pirates can't score. They don't have their best bullpen guy now, right? They traded away David Bednar to the Yankees, so they don't even have Bednar really to give them hope. So I'll go over on the win for tomorrow, and maybe Bregman with the base hit, but I'll go over on Skeens for the strikeouts. I'll be right back.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY at 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
Alrighty, so take advantage of that for tomorrow. Head on over to the DraftKings Sportsbook app. If you use the code FOUL, that's code FOUL, F-O-U-L, for new customers right now, you get $300 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Not bad. DraftKings, the crown is yours. So, let's get to the bit of news that we had here. Let's get to the bit of news, shall we? And who could be going up against Paul Skeens? We might be on the verge of a Peyton Tolley call-up, ladies and gentlemen. We might be on the verge. We got this report here today from Chris Smith of Mass Live. Dustin May pushed back to Saturday. So that probably makes it more likely Peyton Tolley makes his big league debut on Friday, but nothing official yet. It would be Tolley versus Skeens. Now, someone said here that Skeens got pushed back to Saturday, but as of right now, the announced starter for tomorrow night is Skeens. So, I don't know. That's, as of right now, that is the probable starter for the Pirates. I guess you could change a couple of things here, but we will see what ends up happening with that. But hold on, let me fix one little can I fix this? I got too much going there. Okay, it's a little better. Sorry if the lights are a little distracting. But yeah, we'll have to see what ends up happening here. As of right now, Paul Skeens is the announced starter. Everyone, if you are live with us on Nesson, I do have to wrap it up right there. Come on over to YouTube, Monster Territory, to see the end of the show. But everybody on Nesson, thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. But taking a look here, Peyton Tolley. Could he be the guy? I mean, I don't see why not. I really don't. I mean, Kyle Harrison, we have talked about him. Christopher Smith, he did put something out about Kyle Harrison being a possibility. And we actually did hear, we did have this from Alex Cora here today. When asked if the Red Sox have made a change with Dustin May to Saturday, does that mean that Peyton Tolley is going to get called up? Cora, he answered to this saying, it doesn't mean anything. It means that we haven't made a decision, and we'll see where we're at tonight, and we'll decide who pitches tomorrow. He goes on to say the most likely two options seem to be Tolley or the Red Sox using an opener followed by a bullpen game. Cora went on to say, I think everybody's in the mix. He confirmed Kyle Harrison remains a candidate despite throwing 38 pitches for Worcester on Tuesday. That said, he would be on very short rest. So that's kind of the big thing here. It's like, well, I mean, do you really want to go with him on short rest? I mean, I guess even though he didn't throw a whole lot of pitches, I guess you could treat that maybe as like a bullpen kind of a thing. So maybe that's kind of where they were at with that, thinking, okay, well, we'll just limit the pitch count. treat it like a bullpen, and then he could still make the start. Chris Smith also yesterday, he put out something that Harrison could have been the starter for Saturday. But since they have now announced that May is the starter for Saturday, it kind of seems like it's either, like he said, it's going to be Tolley or the bullpen. I don't know. It feels you still could go with Harrison, but if you're just looking at the fact that he pitched a couple of days ago, I would imagine that he would be probably like the third option there. In my head right now, I hope it's Tolley. I'm going to stay conservative on that because at the end of the day, organizations, they do not want to rush their top pitching prospect, right? They're going to make sure it is the right timing. I'm still going to think it's going to be a bullpen game tomorrow. I hope I'm wrong, though. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's Peyton Tolley. I don't want to sit here and say I think Tolley's going to get the start because it's at the end of the day, it is an aggressive move, no matter how you look at it, because you just look at where he started this year at the beginning of the year. He was an A-ball. So, like, do you want his first start at the major league level to be up against Paul Skeens? I definitely do. From an entertainment point of view, yeah, I'm going to be fired up for that one. If that ends up happening, I'm going to be revved up. I hope it happens. Please give me Peyton Tolley in his debut against Paul Skeens. I need the electric pitching matchups. I need them to return. I put out a tweet earlier in the week saying, I hope Crochet, it wasn't going to happen, but I was saying, I hope Crochet somehow, some way gets pushed back a day so we can see Crochet against Skeens. Because I love pitching matchups like that. I'm such a fan. I need those big-time matchups to come back. I feel like you don't see that anymore, you know? That's why I was hoping we would get Crochet Skeens, or a couple of weeks ago, I didn't know if it was going to fully line up that way because I was like, oh, playing the Pirates, maybe Skeens Crochet. But no, as we got closer, I knew it wasn't going to happen. But this would be the next best thing from an entertainment point of view. But then I could also say this. Would Tolley give you the best shot to win that game against a Pirates offense that stinks? You could say, like, oh, Tolley, debut, a lot of nerves, a lot of pressure. But those bats can't hit anything. And Tolley with that fastball, with the life that he has on that fastball, it's easily the best fastball in all of the minor leagues. It is absolutely a major league ready pitch. Heck yeah, I would throw that thing against the Pirates. They probably wouldn't be able to hit one of them. Yeah, I think Tolley gives you the best shot to win against Paul Skeens. That's just my opinion. I would call him up for that one. Personally, that's what I would do. From an entertainment point of view, yes. But also from a strategy point of view. I don't want to go bullpen game against Skeens. No. I don't want that. I want Tolley. Please. I hope. But I think you obviously have a great shot to win if Tolley's on the mound. All right. I would like to counter with something a bit better than a bullpen game against Skeens. That's just me. I don't know if anyone else feels that way. Yeah. What can you do? We'll see what happens. But if we do hear anything, I'll be right here talking about it. So, everybody, I'm going to wrap it up right there. That is the end of the post-game show for today. Thank you to all of you coming out for this afternoon's post-game show. Obviously, a little earlier than usual, but good to see a nice big crowd coming out here in the chat on a Thursday afternoon. Go have yourself some dinner. If it is 5 o'clock on the East Coast where you are, if it's, I don't know, morning somewhere, wherever you are, well, okay, go get some breakfast. Go eat something. Go enjoy your night. Go relax. If you're just getting off work right now, go enjoy it. Go relax here. And we got Friday tomorrow. What's the old saying? TGIF, thank God it's Friday. TGIF tomorrow. Man, oh man. I'm out of here, everybody. If you're kind of the way out, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you tomorrow.